everybody, you watched 8 videos about our boating on the Llangollen canal. And today we are giving you our fair and very honest opinion about this trip. Maybe somebody will not agree. Okay, write down your comment and say what you think about boating on the Narrowboat on this canal. Okay, let's go. Okay, now we are going to talk about pros and cons on the Narrowboat.
Oh no, Llangollen. So
Say it
a lot
again.
of Llangollen.
Llangollen.
Yeah. So a lot of L is like, you know.
Llangollen.
Yeah.
Pros. What is the big pro?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. What do you think? What is the big pro?
I guess I would think that the biggest pro of doing this is the unique experience, because there aren't a lot of places in the world where you can easily, at a modest cost, get a boat like this and go through an experience like this. Now, it's not universally good. There are some bad things too, but the best thing about it, in my opinion, is the unique experience that you can have at almost any age, from teenager all the way up until we've seen people in their 80s. I'm 74, so you can do
I
it
will
when
not
you're
say
old.
how
You
old.
You can do it when you're old, you can do it when you're young. It's suitable for anybody, and it is a unique experience.
It was a quite experience to drive a narrowboat through the Church tunnel. We went through a few tunnels, but it was the longest. And when we went up on the canal, it was very, very slow, and it seemed like it will never end. And of course, to drive the narrowboat and try to maneuver between other boats, it was a quite experience. And the aqueducts, no, it is not difficult, but it is interesting. And of course, first time we operated locks by ourselves. On other canals and on the Shannon River, somebody else operated it for us, but here we had to manage by ourselves with everything. And of course, to drive the boat, it was a big experience, for me at least, because you push the stick to the left, the boat goes to the right, you have to straight it. Anyway, for me it was difficult.
Yeah, I think you're fine. Steer a little bit right.
And speaking about the boat, I think if you compare with other power boat, not narrow boats, at least our company boat is fairly comfortable, right?
You mean compared to what kind
Compared
of boat?
to boats that we rented in other countries, power boats.
Canal boats.
Canal boats. Canal boats, not sailboats,
Yeah.
canal boats. It has good beds,
Yeah.
good toilet and kitchen, and we don't have to pay for fuel.
Yeah, it is probably more comfortable than most of the other kinds of boats that you find for rent on a canal. These are steel, they're long, they're narrow. There are also plastic, more cabin cruiser types that you can rent on many canals, and they're not as comfortable and they're not as pleasant to be in as this kind.
Yes. And by the way, we got a boat with Whittington Wharf Narrowboat Boats Company, and we want to say that they prepare the boat very well, and it was reasonably priced, so we are happy about this. Okay, another pro, third or second or whatever, you pass
very interesting English small towns, right?
Well, like Llangollen,
Llangollen, like Llangollen.
and even to a lesser extent, Ellesmere and Whittington and Oswestry, and all these little towns have been somewhat interesting, but particularly Llangollen.
Llangollen is a beautiful place, yes.
Although you can get to Llangollen without a narrowboat, of course, you can go in many other ways, including a private car, but it is worth seeing. And so one of the pros of the narrowboat experience is you see these wonderful little out-of-the-way English towns. Another pro on this canal with the company that we went with, or I think with any company, is that it's really a pretty economical trip. For a week, for what a nice hotel would cost on a daily basis, you can have your hotel and your transportation both on this canal, as well as the experience of being on it. And if you prepare your own food, you don't have much food cost, so it can be very economical. If you look at the cost of these narrowboats, they're quite reasonable, averaging $200 a day or less, and
Or
that's
less.
everything included. So it can be very reasonable.
And by the way, we forgot one more pro.
The locks or what?
Yes, this canal doesn't have too many locks or bridges, lifted bridges. We had just one lift
One lifting bridge,
bridge,
two
and-
locks.
and two locks, and that's it.
Yeah, and the locks are no big deal.
No.
The locks are very easy.
Yes, and it is another pros. Locks are very easy.
Yes, we went through locks first time, we operated by ourselves first time, but why it was easy? In our opinion, it is easy because only your boat is in the lock. You are not afraid to hit other boats, you don't have to hold it still. The lock is very narrow and your boat will not go anywhere. You just manage to hold it in the certain position, and that's it. So it was very easy, and you are not in a hurry.
If you watched our videos, pros and cons on other canals, on canal boats, not narrow boats, all the time we say great sceneries. You can drive and you can look around and enjoy. Very easy.
And a final pro is if you like history, then, and if you're interested in the history of England in the beginnings of the industrial age when these canals were first built, then it's interesting from a historical perspective to go up and down them and see the infrastructure and see why it was built, what it was used for, and what it was all about.
If you drive, you don't look around, you don't enjoy. If somebody is not driving, yes, like I enjoyed more than Ben because Ben was driving more than me, right? I did not drive almost.
Well, I think what you're saying is that it's, for the driver, it's extremely intense, because if you look away for a few minutes, at least in our case, if you look away for a few minutes, you find yourself in the weeds. The canal is very narrow, and so for the driver, it's really intense.
Yes, and even one time we passed, we met a boat, and Ben asked, there were 4 or 5 or 6 people, and Ben asked, are you having fun yet? And the driver, what he answered?
The driver said, well, they are.
Yes,
Meaning
the rest
his
of
passengers,
them. Yes,
yeah.
he said the rest of them are.
Yeah.
This means he has to drive. He doesn't have. He can't have fun.
Can you imagine in the situation like this to look around and enjoy the beauty of the canal? No, of course you can't.
5 feet.
If the boat is coming toward you, you are just watching what this boat is doing. You can't predict who is driving the boat. Maybe some unexperienced people like we are.
3 feet.
We don't have any experience of driving on the narrow boat. Some people do it every year, come every year for the vacation, but some of them are first time, and it is difficult to drive this boat. Like I said already, not one time in my videos. So it is really intense.
Not too hard.
Now, we've been on several canals. We've been on the Caledonian in Scotland. We've been on this one in England. We've been on the Shannon River in Ireland, and we've been on the Canal de Midi in France. And of all those canals, this one is definitely the most narrow, particularly the part up near Llangollen in the area around the aqueduct and the tunnel that everybody wants to see in particular. They're well worth seeing, but the canal is extremely narrow.
And some places on the canal have this sign: channel narrows to one boat width for 500 meters. We advise you to send someone to walk ahead to warn of oncoming boats. No passing places. Okay, if you are by yourself and you can't send anybody, I don't know what you are going to do. But the canal is narrow, and some places have bridges in this narrow place, and you have to manage somehow to go through. Of course, you don't want to hit your boat, or you don't want to hit somebody's boat.
I'm sorry, but it's more important that I see.
Again, it is stressful.
I know.
For me, it was not real stressful,
You will
but for
go
Ben,
through.
who was driving all the
go
time,
straight.
it was real stressful. We talked about stress already. And another thing, on this narrow part of Llangollen canal, there are many
And the canoes are
people
waiting
on
for
kayaks. I don't know what they are doing here. It is dangerous. One time our boat just turned and we were afraid to hit them.
Another group of kayakers.
I think they were ready to jump on the shore because we couldn't just manage. It is dangerous. And some places on the canal have turn like 90 degrees turn.
Like 6 feet.
Our boat was 49 feet, but some boats are up to 72 feet, like I understood. It is impossible, I think, to turn that boat. Watch how we managed with our boat, with 49 feet boat in this situation. And imagine the longer boat.
Another, we think, a con. It is true for each canal, even for the Shannon River, right? That you can stuck in the mud. But in Shannon River it is wide and it is very difficult to stuck in the mud. Here it is very easy to stuck in the mud.
To get stuck, yes.
To get stuck in the mud. You make a wrong turn or sharper turn or whatever, and you are in the mud. And we stuck 2 times, right?
Yeah.
And other people.
Let's say, and this often happens this way, let's say you're going up a canal that's north and south, and you get to a bridge, and the bridge is at an angle like this. Okay, the only way to get through that extremely narrow passage under that bridge is to move your stern way over to this side. And if you do that, the chances of you getting stuck are very high. That's why we got stuck a couple of times. That's why other people have gotten stuck that we've seen along the canal. We saw lots of people stuck in the mud.
Yes.
And it can happen to anybody, and you don't have to make a mistake for it to happen. Now, is it easy to get loose? Sometimes, sometimes not. Sometimes you will be pushing and huffing and puffing for 15 or 20 minutes to get
Yes,
loose.
first time we were pushing for 20 minutes.
But you eventually get unstuck. If you notice in this video that there seems to be a lot of rain, that's because there is a lot of rain. In fact,
Every day.
from our experience, every single day, it's as likely at any particular moment to be raining as it is to not be raining.
Yes.
So, you know, if you're going to come narrowboating in England, bring your rain clothes because you're going to need them. But it's not a particularly cold rain.
No,
it's
not cold,
particularly
not cold.
nasty or
And
unpleasant.
they have some stuff on the boat.
And on the boat there are rain parkas and so forth. So you can manage even if you don't bring it, but you'd be advised to bring it.
Yes. Sometimes you go to bed and the weather is great. But when you get up in the morning, it is not so great. It is raining, gloomy. Cows are there, they don't care. But I don't know, maybe you care. And you think you should start your way to the next destination or wait for the rain stop.
The canal can be stressful and crazy. In our previous videos we mentioned that not everywhere you can turn your narrow boat back. There are some designated places you can find it, but they are maybe 2-3 miles away from each other. So you have to find this place. And like this boat decided to turn right in the front of us. We have to wait. They need to turn, but they did not wait for us to pass them. They just started turning in the front of us. We did not know at first what they are doing. It is difficult to hold our boat as well, still, and to not hit them. And here you remember I mentioned that when you approach the bridge, you should give a signal to boats on the other side. Maybe there are boats that you are coming, and if you don't hear a signal, you can go. It is what we did. And when we got under the bridge, we saw that the other boat is trying to get there, but we were under the bridge already. So we decided to not turn because they did not give a signal to us that they are there, and it was difficult for them to turn, to move their boat. You see, they just blocked our way, and it was difficult for us to hold the boat to go back. The situation is very, very common, and at some point there was an accident. We just two boats, our boat and another boat, just hit each other because we gave a signal, they didn't, and apparently they just went under the bridge, and we were there already, and they hit us and we hit them. It was very loud, but it happens.
I don't know what
And
he's doing.
when we reached Ellesmere, we needed to turn, and there the red boat just parked, just tied up where they are not supposed to be, and it was difficult to turn. It was really stressful.
Here's another con, and this one is for me personally, and nobody else, is that, because I'm not speaking for anybody else on this, I think
Not for me?
I think the canal is boring. I think
Boring.
it's quite boring. Going up this muddy ditch at 2 miles an hour can be very boring, and so that's a definite con.
Yes, you can't go far, and I don't know. No, anyway, you are right. It is boring. Even for me, it is boring. And bottom line, are we going to come back?
No. Zena might say yes, but I would
No,
say
no, 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 no. Now we try it. We wanted to try for a long time, and we try it. We know what it looks like, what it feels like.
Now, would we go back to Shannon River
Yes, maybe,
or to Scotland?
definitely.
Maybe, but not England, not with these kind of boats on these kind of canals.
And it is our opinion,
it
because
is.
we know that other people came to this place not one time,
Yeah.
several times.
Some people come every year, and
Yes.
many people own these boats and live on them or spend months of the year on them going up and down the English canals. And you can travel over most of England on these canals for sure, because the canals, with a few exceptions, all connect with one another. Okay?